Brilliant. Recording in progress. Right, moment of panic over. Okay, so this morning, I know pretty sure everybody's been here the last couple of days, apart from Holly maybe. Donna's not here, that's fine, she couldn't make it. I thought we'd just we'd cover off some of the things. So there was somebody in the group was struggling with the single leg deadlift. Somebody was struggling with the 90-90 lunges, and somebody was struggling with the frogs. So I thought we'll just recap those three things with a bit of different stuff in between before we kind of move on. So this week's going to be mainly body weight, and then next week we're going to introduce the bands. So I think I've spoken to everybody, or you've had the emails or seen in the group. You just need some bands. But if anybody's got any trouble with that, let me know. I can send you the link to these sorts of things. Yeah, different types, different colours. So you've got a bit of an option. So it's just to add some resistance from next week. Excuse me. Right. Okay. So we're going to start off with the frogs, the frog rock backs. I think the main issue with this is always the knees. And really the only thing you can do is put more padding under your knees. So there are options for rolling up your mat and getting some padding under your knees, or just kind of suffering through it and accepting that it is what it is. So frog rocks, then coming to all fours. You take your knees wider, as wide as you can, comfortably can, no tweaking. But I sometimes find as well, the wider you go, the more on the inside of your knee you are, rather than on the kneecap. So if you can go a little bit wider, it sometimes takes the pressure off, maybe not, it depends. And then go even wider with the feet. Doesn't need to be too wide, just slightly wider than your knees. So in that straddle position, weight through the hands, and then you're going to start rocking forwards and back. The wider you've gone, you tend to find that you've got less movement, and that's okay. It's just a different position for your hips. That's the word I'm looking for. Those of you who don't know me will, or those of you who do know me will realize that I can never remember body parts. So hips, I'm mobilizing the hips. So gentle rock backwards and forwards. The other thing I see with this quite a lot, turn sideways on, keep going. If I turn sideways on, come back to that position, the thing that I see is people go back is they round. So they round the spine. So when you come back to the lift your tailbone, and if you can lift your tailbone, you know that when you've come back, so you're in almost, well, I'm going to call it a neutral position, neutral spine, neutral pelvis, forward and back. And then on this next one, once you've come forward, come down onto the elbows, and just keep going. So this just alters the angle. But again, for some people, this position tends to make them tuck under a little bit more. So if in doubt, stick your ass out. Bit of twerking, never did anybody any harm. Keep your butt lifted. Rocking forwards and back. I'm keep lifting my head to kind of look at you guys and to check my positioning, which is less than ideal. You want your gaze kind of just maybe a couple of feet in front of you, so it's keeping your neck in line as well. And then moving on, just coming straight back up onto the hands this time. As you come forward, so you come forward, so your weight's on your hands, you're going to pick up your right foot, like you're trying to bring your right foot to your right shoulder. So I'm rotating my thigh bone in the hip socket. It comes back down, you rock back, you rock forward, and you pick up your left foot. It comes down, you rock back, you rock forward, and you pick up your right foot. And you can do this on your elbows. I see somebody there doing it on their elbows. I think it's Andrea. Or you can be on your hands. Andrea, are you fine on your elbows, chicken? That wasn't a criticism. You are fine on your elbows. You could do it on both, doesn't matter. I don't know why I tend to come to this position. If you want to try it on your elbows, feel free. I tend to come up onto my hands for some reason. Oh, look at that, got more movement here. So when I'm on my elbows, I have more movement in my hips, and it eases the cramp I was just getting. Who knew? Thank you, Andrea. It's always an exploration, especially something like this. A couple more. And last one. And release. And I'm coming into, usually I'd go straight into, I've been kind of following a plan. Usually I go straight into the core section after the hip mobility, but I want to kind of get into a chest stretch. So the other day, we did 90-90 at the elbow and we were twisting over. Yeah, this time we're going to go straight out. So it's 90 degrees, but your arm is straight. So from there, you line face down, the arm is straight out at the shoulder level. The other hand is going to help you push yourself over. So you're going to start to twist. You're going to pick up, if your right arm's out to the side, you're going to pick up your left leg and you're going to plant it on the other side of your right leg, so behind your knee. So stretching into the chest on this right side. Breathe and then release and come back. So you're lying flat again. Switch sides. So left arm straight out at shoulder level. Use the right hand to start to push you over and you twist. Right leg lifts up and plants behind your left knee. So my right knee is pointing to the ceiling. I'm using that right hand to just push me that a little bit further over that shoulder. And again, just breathe. And we're all looking fairly square there. So let's make it move a little bit so it's a bit more dynamic. So you come back to flat, switch arms, keep moving, roll over onto the right shoulder. If you're with me, roll back to flat, switch arms, roll over onto the left shoulder. And just keep going from side to side. Make sure you breathe in. No special breath, but just make sure you are. I'm gonna have to sort my hair out at some point. We'll do a couple more. I like these. I like the fact that you get the chest stretch, but I like the rotation as well. I'm hoping it feels nice. I like it. It feels good. It feels good, especially at this time in the morning. And then come back to center and then come up onto all fours. So yesterday we worked on a full plank. Today we're going back to our 4-point kneeling plank, which with the knee hover. Let me just sort the hair out. Doing my nutting. It's getting stuck on my microphone. Right, so 4-point kneeling, toes are tucked under, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's just practice the knee hover to start with. So you want to take your knees as low as you can, if that makes sense, while still being off the mat. So if I hover my knees, you might not have even been able to see me move. And the only way that you know my knees are off the mat is because I can wiggle them, yeah? And then release back down. Same again, hover as low as you can. It's hard, the lower you are, the harder it is. This is about the most simple plank you'll ever get. And then release back down. Couple more, hover the knees and release. One more time, hover the knees and release. So the other day we were working on bringing the knees to the elbows. This time we're going to work on a donkey kick. So just while we're here, before we lift the knees up, yes, we are going to lift the knees up and do a donkey kick. Just practice your, this is a proper 80s style kind of bums and tums thing, isn't it? So your donkey kick, leg stays at 90. Yeah, 90 degrees at the knee and then release back down. So just one each side, just to give you that idea of what donkey kick looks like. And you try not to arch into your spine and then come back down. And then we're going to go straight into it. So you're going to hover the knees, try and keep them low. And we go donkey kick on one side, down, donkey kick on the other side. The foot comes back down and then the knees come back down. And we're going to do 2 on this next one. So hover the knees, donkey kick one side, the other side, the other side, and the other side, and then lower, and then we're building up to 3. So again, up, got 1 on the other side, 2, number 2 on the other side, 3, and number 3 on the other side, and release the knees back down, and then come off your wrists for a moment. You can reach the arms out. Oh. Circle the wrists if you feel like you need it. So it's all about stability and control with the 4-point bridge. I like it. I like it because when you're out long, you've got more room for things to go wrong. So we like it. So coming into the bridge work, we'll be working on the bridges. We did glute bridges. We've done hamstring bridges. We're kind of going to combine them together. This is a bridge and we're going to walk the feet out. You may get cramp. I usually do. I will try and talk you through how to relieve that cramp during the exercise, but if you need to kind of abandon ship and bring your bum down, that's fine. So start off with a normal bridge. Lying on your back. Flatten your lower back gently into the floor and pick the hips up. So you're one long line from shoulders through hips through knees. And then you're going to lift the toes. And here you might not get a lot of movement in the sense that you're up on your heels, but because your feet are so close to your bottom, your toes might not lift very high. But as you walk out, they will lift higher. So we're going to walk out 3 on each leg, 3 steps on each leg. So left leg walks out a little bit, 6 inches. You lift the hips a little bit higher. Right leg joins it. Left leg walks out a little bit. Right leg walks out a little bit. Left leg walks out a little bit. Right leg walks out a little bit. And then you start to come back. 3 steps back. And then lower the hips down. And if you need it, stretch your legs up to the sky. So you get rid of that hamstring cramp if you've got it. Mine just threatens. It's kind of there, but it doesn't come on like I've been shot, thankfully. It's a proper workout for the hamstrings. Like I say, they don't get a lot of work. We don't tend to work the hamstrings too much. And they are vital for your running. So stretch as much as you need to. I'm kind of gathering that, am I the only one with my legs in the air? Oh no, people are still with the legs in the air. I'm just giving you a moment to get rid of the cramp if you've got it. You might not. So when you, the way I do it, when I'm actually in the exercise, if I feel that kind of cramp coming on, I kind of straighten my leg as I'm walking. So I'll give you a quick demonstration. So as I'm walking out, if I feel that crampy feeling, I walk and straighten at the same time. That movement. So I'm actually stretching the legs rather than keeping my legs bent. We'll see how it goes. So this next one, same thing again. Lift the hips up first, lift the toes, start to walk out. 1 step, 2 step, 3, as far as you can go. Yeah, so you almost butt back on the floor and then start to walk back. Keep lifting the hips as you come back in, lifting, lifting, lifting. And when you get all the way back in, lower the hips back down. Put your legs in the air if you need the hamstring stretch. And I'll do it. If not, oh, yep, there's a few legs going up. Okay, we'll do the hamstring stretch. All I'm doing, literally, I'm just walking my legs, pointing and flexing my toes and just letting the hamstrings lengthen. I'm not doing any specific hamstring stretch. It's literally just get rid of the pain. Are we up for one more try? One more try. Come on, let's do it. We can do this. Same thing, lower back flattens into the mat. You lift the hips, you lift the toes. We start to walk. Little steps, all the way out as far as you can go without your butt touching. And then all the way back in. Keep lifting the hips up each step. You'll get a little bit higher as you come back in. When you're all the way in, lower your butt back down to the floor. Well done. Come to seated. Come to seated. We'll do a hamstring stretch here. Legs out, straight in front. Just lean forward. Not bothered about what it looks like. Just literally trying to get rid of that hamstring stuff at the back. I'm glad I'm not the only one that suffers with the hamstrings. I think it's the bane of most runners' lives, isn't it? Hamstrings that don't do as they're told. Okay, right, moving swiftly on. So the other one we were working on the other day, which came up as a question in the group, was the 90-90 lunge. So I'm going to come at it a different way. I'm going to show you the way that we did it the other day, and then I'm going to show you how to come at it from the other, well, from above, as it were. So 90-90, hips and knees. So you're kneeling up, 90-90, hips and knees, lunge position. So ideally with a lunge, you don't want too much forward motion. The more up and down you go, the more you're going to feel it where you actually need to feel it, or it's going to be where you want it to be. So if I said to you here, without lunging forward, just hover your back knee off the floor, it's going to feel, relatively interesting. Not an easy thing to do. So you hover your back knee off the floor and then lower back down. Good. Well done. Yeah. Now, if I said to you, come forward, so shift forward and then hover your back knee off the floor, you might find that a little bit easier. It's not too much easier, but it's a little bit easier. We're shifting your weight. So you can shift forward, then lift the knee, and then come back to that 90-90, and you kind of feel the difference. It's a lot of work. And then down, yeah? So that's the feeling. Then switch sides, we'll do it on the other side. And then we'll come at it from the top down. The 90-90 hips and knees, same thing again. Shift forward as much as you need to pick that back knee up and then come back to your 90-90 position. You hold, you suffer, and then release. I'm gonna do one more. Come forward as much as you need to, lift the back knee, shift back, and then release. And then coming up. So I have no problem. I teach a lot of lunges to lots of different people, but what I tend to find is if we do the whole step thing and then the lunge, it's always this forward movement, which in and of itself isn't wrong. But if we want to keep it a clean movement for argument's sake and get more into glutes, hamstrings, quads, then you want to be kind of going straight down. So in a standing lunge, keep your body upright and then imagine bending both legs and your body sinking straight down. There will be some forward stuff, yeah, but not as much as I'm hoping, or not as much as I usually see, I'm hoping. And again, sink straight down. So on this next one, don't touch your knee to the floor, hover it and hold, and then check your front leg. So you know you've gone more or less straight down if your front shin is vertical. If your front knee has covered your toes, you know you've shifted forward. Aha, better. Yeah, nice, Andrea, well done. Yeah, so straight down and straight back up again. And you should find it loads up your glute a lot more. So we're going to do 5 more. Straight down, straight back up, straight down, straight back up. 3, 2, and last one. For about 10, I would imagine. So let's switch sides. So same again on the other side, nice and wide, so long through the legs to start with. It gives you more room for your knees to bend. And then make sure you still hip distance apart so you're not unbalanced. Same thing, both legs bend, straight down and straight up, as much as possible. It is what it is. For 3, 4, 5. We'll go 5 more. Last 2. Or it is for me. If you've done 5, that's fine. And then release. Give your legs a little bit of a wiggle. So if you want to build strength, lunges are great. That's no problem. Doing lunges like we've just done them, fine. But if you want to build a little bit more strength where you need it, try the ones where you're hovering your knee off the floor with legs in 90-90. All right, so finishing off with the balance series, then going to the single leg deadlift. Just conscious of the time, so we'll rattle through this. I think most of you are here over the last few days. So single deadlift, so regression, single leg deadlift, right leg forward, left leg back. It's almost like a lunge position, but just not quite as far. You're going to do the same again. You're going to bend both legs. You're going to reach the hands down to either side of your foot. And then when you stand, stand straight back up and bring your feet back together. So push down into the front foot, stand and bring the feet together. Same again on the other side, foot reaches back, bend both knees together, reach down either side of the foot, push the floor away with the left foot, stand both feet together. Now, if we had kettlebells or dumbbells, this would make a little bit more sense, but it's the movement at the spine I'm looking for. So flat back. Same again, left leg back, both legs bend, touch either side of the foot, push the floor away, stand legs together. Same on the other side, reach back, both legs bend, push down into the floor with the left leg and come to standing. So now we try it with the leg up. So the left leg goes back, then it bends. So now you're on one foot. If you can't go all the way to the floor, it doesn't matter. Go as far as you can while you keep your balance. You bend in the front leg, reaching either side of the foot, and then stand. Same again on that side. Let's just aim for 3. Ooh. And again, last one. It is for me anyway. Nicely done. Getting any easier balance-wise? Maybe not. Same on the other side. So right leg back, leg bends. So you try working that hamstring again, try to bring your heel to your butt. Same thing, front leg bends. Touch the other side of the foot if you can, and then stand. 2 more. And last one. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm going to leave with this a full one. There's a progression. I'm going to leave that for next week because I'm just conscious of the time for you all. So finishing off with just a few straddle stretches. So go wide as wide as you can, wider than you would expect yourself to be able to without slipping and sliding. Yeah, so it's not the splits, but you get the idea. And then hinge forward at the hip and bring your fingertips or your hands, whichever you can get to the floor. And if you need to come forward a little bit, that's fine. So hands to the floor. Again, if you need to bend your knees, that's okay too, because we're going to do that anyway. So from here, keep your weight through your hands, whether they're flat or tented, doesn't matter. Weight through the hands and then sit into a wide squat. So just bending the knees and then straightening them back out. Bend the knees and then straighten them back out. This time you're going to sit at the bottom. So bend the knees, hands are still on the floor, and you're pushing the knees out. So I'm trying to push the knees out, not with my elbows. You can do it with your elbows. I want you to keep the hands on the floor and use the muscles in your legs to push the knees out. It gets a bit more into the glutes. And then straighten the legs, come back down. And this time, just kind of going to rock from side to side. So I'm doing a slight straightening and bending of each knee, rocking my bottom from side to side. And you can make it a little bit bigger, start to straighten one leg and bend the other, side to side, stretching out into the groin. Make sure you've not stopped breathing. Side to side, like a windscreen wiper. And then come back to center, bend the knees if you need to push yourself back up to standing. I've got one more to do with a bit of rotation. So this time from here, again, hinge at the hips, and you're going to take one fist, let's go left fist over to the right foot. Doesn't have to get there, it's about 6 inches away. Yeah, so right foot, left fist, and then the right elbow is going to twist up towards the ceiling. You're going to look up at your top elbow, and you can use the fist that's on the floor to push you round a little bit further. So you're twisting round. And then go and switch sides. So the right fist is going to come down towards the left foot, and the left elbow is going to reach to the ceiling as you rotate your chest round. Make sure you're breathing still. And then this time, as you switch, so left fist comes down, you're going to bend the right knee instead. Not instead, but instead, well, yeah, instead. So bend the right knee instead of keeping it straight. Same thing, right elbow up to the sky. And then you can sink a little bit deeper if you wish. You can sink, bend the right knee a little bit more. And then straighten the knee, switch sides. Right fist comes down over towards the left. Elbow up to the sky, bending into the left leg and rotating round. Again, make sure you breathe in, sink a little deeper if you wish, and more stretch into the groin. And then bring everything back to center, hands down if you need them, and come up to standing. And to say we started late, I'm only 2 minutes overdue, late. We've lost, well, yeah, somebody's gone already, so brilliant. Right, well done, chaps. So that's day, what are we on? Day 3. That's day 3 done. Wow. Oh, 2 more to the end of the week. I'm going to post some, who, just give me a thumbs up if you've got a skipping rope. Who got a skipping rope? Andrew's got one. Mirabella's got one. Barbara's going, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you whether I've got one or not. Right, I'm going to post some homework in the group later on. I'm late for picking up my friend. We're going for a run now, so I will see you later. But I'll post the skipping homework in the group at some point today. Thanks, chaps. Nice to see you. See you later.